We're live! Yay!
Hello.
Yay,
Hello,
hi.
everyone! And there's
How's
so many of
everyone
you
doing?
here. This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us at all hours of the day.
Yeah, we had different
The
time
three of
zones.
us are experiencing all hours of the day right now.
Oh,
That's right. I'm representing the afternoon.
yeah, it's 7 a.m. here. Yeah, 7 a.m.
It's midnight, but this is Rosie time, so it's really like 9 p.m.
So I'm the only one who is still in May 4th.
Yeah, we're in the future
Yeah,
now.
you can't say anything about Star Wars, sorry.
Yeah, because it's May 5th in places.
Okay, I'm just sharing a link so people on
Yeah,
the
it's so
gram can find
awesome
us.
that everyone's here. There's so many people are checking it out. Appreciate it.
So many
Hi,
of you. Hello.
Hello.
hi.
We love doing live streams. We especially love when Sandara, when you could come on and be part of them. So many people are just entranced with the worlds that you're making. So it's so exciting to talk to you about those worlds. If everyone doesn't know, we're live with Flamecraft Duals right now. You probably know that if you're here. And we have done this type of a live before. We did it for Flamecraft. We drew some. Do you remember what we drew for Flamecraft? That we drew Venti. I think you had done a lesson on how to draw a potion dragon, but then you actually in the live you drew the So Cute shop.
Yeah,
I think that's where Taylor came to be. Taylor
yeah.
didn't exist before that stream. And then we did a Critter Kitchen stream, and I remembered that there was a suggestion to make a sloth
Yeah.
that had a crock pot, and then that got into the game. So these streams can be really fun because we get ideas, and then they can come into the game. Now, this particular stream, we already have most of the art drawn for Duals. Duals is a different kind of a game where it's ready to go to print. It's pretty much been ready to go. But we wanted to still do this because this is a chance to show everyone how you make magic instantly. I don't know how else to describe it. So what we decided to do was we have at least one thing that everybody knows about, which is that we're going to draw a coaster. Carpet Alchemy does a commemorative coaster that captures the spirit of the game, and we already have 2 Flamecraft coasters that exist, but what would the Duals coaster be? So we did get some suggestions from some folks in the Discord, but also we have another thing that I don't think anyone knows about that we're going to be drawing today. So we'll get into that in a moment. Rosie, do you have anything to add to that?
Other than people critiquing our backdrops.
This is a mess because I couldn't get to the studio in time, and I normally have a Critter Kitchen backdrop, but now I just
all obsessed with the row of plushies.
Yes, the plush row is amazing.
Yeah,
And someone wanted to get like a tattoo, I think.
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, people have gotten tattoos of the dragons already, so yeah, you can go ahead and just I don't know, pick any dragon.
That's very cool.
If you share when it happens, we can share that picture as well. It's exciting when
please share me, and eventually I'll get around to it and inspire me. Thank you.
I think we've been trying to get Manny to do a tattoo, right?
Oh yeah, he's been talking about it for like years, but I don't think he ever will.
Well, we'll see. We had if anyone saw the Foster the Meeple preview of Flamecraft Duals, Foster the Meeple has on her forearm a dragon. I think it's one of the fancy dragons looking at a ladybug on the ground. I think so.
Oh, so cute.
Wow. Somebody asked me, 12-hour difference. Where am I? I'm in Singapore.
That's right.
Yep.
There was one time I got to visit over there. That was fun last year. And I got a tour of Singapore from Sandara. That was really amazing.
Well, part of Singapore at any rate. The nicer touristy parts.
I will say about Singapore, the airport in Singapore is more decorated than other parts of the world. I mean, it's very fancy in the airport.
Yeah, it
is. The
massive
fountain or waterfall. or whatever they have over there.
Yeah.
So I can see. Oh, hi, Doug. I can see. Close my door, thanks. I can see that Sandara is drawing right now. So should we?
Yes, we should get right into it and jump into
Okay.
these things that we're drawing, and people can chime in and add suggestions or talk through. We can answer questions if you have any.
All right, let's put this on and talk about what you're drawing.
Oh, look at this! A new friend.
So I'm just lining this guy, and I think you guys have to explain who this is.
Yeah. So this is a dragon that we've been meaning to put in the game. We have companion dragons, right? And so, for example, Rosie just got added to the game this go around, right? It was really exciting.
It's really exciting.
And while we were doing that, I was thinking about, so we're adding these companions, and I said to Chris, I said, is there a way we can do a solo companion? Because we need a solo one. And the way that this dragon became an iron dragon at first was because, I'm going to tell this funny story, because the Brad's companion is an iron dragon. And I feel like on our Discord, people say that Brad's power is not as strong. So we were like, we need another iron dragon potentially to come in and be part of the team. And we don't have another staff member yet. So Chris was looking at who to put into solo. We were thinking about putting Brad in solo, like so you would have a second character. But that's when Chris on our team suggested that if you're playing solo, the character should be Han. And we like a pun around here. So this is Han Solo, the dragon. So if anyone can guess then what Han would be holding.
People have
Well,
already said
somebody
Falcon.
guessed. Somebody
Yeah.
guessed Maltese Falcon.
It's very cool.
To do Han in Flamecraft world means no blaster, right? But we do have to have the signature vest, right? I think that's key.
They
And
think it's Miho. Because his dragon wears a vest just like this, because of his job.
I might just have to go off camera.
No, it's okay. It was just one of those lens flares. It was
Yeah,
real
yeah.
Star Wars.
If I move, I'll try not to move.
It was a real Star Wars moment.
Yeah. So, well, it's funny that it's still May the 4th in my timeline. So we'll just call this a Star Wars tribute as well.
Star Wars.
So we had a question about how long does each dragon take to draw?
How long does each? I would say about maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe 3 hours, I think, per dragon.
Okay.
I mean, from nothing, because right now I've already sketched him out first, so this is the very rough sketch, and right now I'm just doing the clean lines. So in the final, you guys will be seeing just only clean lines, and then the last will be color. So it doesn't really take very long. I think about 3 hours max, because the dragons, they're not very complex looking creatures. Yeah.
Do you feel like as you've drawn them more and more that that's gotten faster, or do they always take about the same time?
Actually, they've taken about the same time. I think because in the beginning we've figured out how they would look, so, and that hasn't really changed. So when I'm sketching new ones, most of the the initial rough stage will be just spent like thinking what what details will make the dragon look unique, from each other. Like, we have
Sure.
several bread dragons, so what makes this bread dragon different from the others? But once that's figured out, the rest of it is actually pretty fast, because
Sure. They have different. I know since they're doing the scales, they all the dragon types have different scales. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the iron and potion have the same diamond-shaped scales. Same goes with meat, and then the crystal, bread, and plants have more rounded scales. Yeah, so I think it's divided that way. And fancies have rounded scales too. So
And waffle has square.
yeah, waffle has square because it's waffles.
Because it's
You know,
waffle.
Manny was like, make it look like a waffle, make the
I love
scales look like a waffle, and I'm like, what?
that.
That's really fun. Oh man, this is an interesting process. How often do you have the underlying sketch and then decide to vary it up?
How? What?
I mean, you have the sketch that you're going to draw, right, in the rough sketch.
Yeah, yeah.
And then how often, I guess, are you going to vary? Because I noticed you were varying on the scales a little bit there when you're filling in.
Oh, I mean, this is the base reference, so sometimes
Yeah.
I would change a little bit, but it doesn't deviate a lot from the base sketch.
Okay.
That's what the base sketch is there for. It's like the reference. So I don't want to, change too much away from it.
At least now I'm going to have to go look at Waffle's art to see the square scales.
I've stared at them so much because of writing puns about them for the update. So I'm always like, come on, pun, squares. Like, all I have is that's waffly good or something like that. And I'm like, come on, waffles. Where's the puns?
So
yeah, it just looks like a waffle.
based on your math about how long they take, Impy Imp was asking about the Dragons and Dragons expansion box because you put all 15 dragons on there.
Yeah, but you can't really count it that way because those are like most of them are just heads.
Yeah, they're just heads, right?
Yeah, they're just heads, and then the front row are more detailed than the guys in the back row. So, yeah, but it's not too far off. About 3 days, I think, for that one.
If anybody, so we're making a companion dragon that plays for solo. And does anyone play the solo game of Flamecraft? If you do, you'll have to shout out in the comments because we do have our Discord has a channel dedicated just to the solo, where people will sometimes say what their achievements and so forth. Right now, that channel is actually people talking about playing the solo of Flamecraft Duals online because you can play it on TTS right now solo.
Yes,
So that's cool.
I think I played it every day. For
The solo?
7 days.
That's awesome.
It's really fun. I like it a lot.
That's
and
great.
I do definitely want a solo channel because otherwise I would not stop talking about it in the normal one.
Yeah, there's so it's interesting because Manny is working on so like the first I'll tell another secret about solo. So we made solo and Brad had a big part of it. So Brad wanted to do an achievement system and was working with Manny on it. And we put the achievement system, and Manny said, "This is way too easy for me." And we were like, "But this is normal level for the rest of us," because Manny has all the tricks and knows all the things how to play. So we put a level of you have to hit 75 points to get an achievement. And Manny said, "I can get to 90 points every time." So then we put the second achievement in there. Oh, there's a Brad.
Yeah, usually I put like another what is meant to be like an iron dragon and Brad's a companion. So to check, like does he fit in? So are the line weights at least similar? So.
Oh, that's nice of you to say, Miho, about the achievement system.
Mm.
It was a lot of fun because one of the things that happened on the first game was that we didn't think there was going to be a solo possible. Manny hadn't thought of one when he first came up with the design, and we didn't want to have a solo that felt very different than the base game. It took a long time to crack it, but there was a lot of demand on the Kickstarter, which is why we kept looking at how to do it. And it was one day when Brad and Manny were talking about it and figured out a way to do it so that you had like 5 opponents, just like it was like a multiplayer game, but it was the same game, which was really important to us. And the achievement system really reminded me of, I don't know if anyone played Sid Meier's Pirates, but there was this video game where you would play the game and then at the end you'd get told how high up of rank you had. I think it's a little bit like Dwarf Romantic too, to me, where it's like really fun to have that. How did I do? I could do better. I can do better. I can really do it. We don't currently have that MP saying that would like it for Flamecraft Duels. We don't have that for Flamecraft Duels, although Manny has started to think about a way to do an achievement system where you can check yourself against his top scores. He's mathed it out, like how many points you can get, and I think we're gonna see if we can print that somewhere. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to work out if so in the solo, if the cards or the chips run out before you've completed all the fountain cards, then it's the end of the game. And I'm trying to work out if it's good to complete loads of cards or not, because surely it's better if you complete it as quickly as possible. Like, you know, you get
so
all the fountain.
that's the part that I think Manny's going to dive into, which is that when I played solo on a plane recently, because I had all this time on the plane and I decided to play solo, I just filled in both cards if I could, and it was about 3 games in when I was like, wait a minute, I could hold this card, and then it'd be a little bit easier for me. But Manny has sort of figured out that if you go with the spirit of do every card, how many points could you conceivably get? And he's going to come up with this ranking system that goes 40, 50, 60, 70,
Oh, cool.
90 points off of your cards. So that if you're not playing to that system, you don't need to worry about it. You can hold your card. You don't have to finish it. But if you are trying to see if you can do as well as possible, you're going to want to play all your cards if you can. In fact, he has it so that on certain turns, if you were to finish the fountain and finish both your cards, that's how you would get to those higher numbers. So this is going to be fun to see what people's total score is.
This is also correct. You lose if you can't score a card. I'm more thinking, because if the chips run out or the cards run out, you lose. And I'm trying to work out, should you be pushing the amount of cards you go through, or should you be trying to do as minimal cards as possible, as someone that keeps playing it? But I have always played it. I have to score the cards if I've done it. That's how I've always played it. So I feel to me a bit like, I'm not holding it back. I've done it. If I want to hold it back, then I would have to place it with the hope that I could complete it next time. That's how I would do it.
I think some people's kids are asking questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Is asking Sandara, can you explain what you're drawing a bit, and what is he holding on fire?
Yeah. I think Estherland asked, Estherland80 asked, his kid also asked the question. She asked, am I doing all my final designs on a computer or on paper and then transfer? Right now it's all in the computer. Very long time ago, I used to draw on paper and then scan it in and then finish it up in the computer. But now, no, everything is done straight away on the computer. It's just faster that way. Yep. The lines look like pencil because Photoshop allows you to have many different kind of brushes, and one of them just looks like a pencil.
That leaves it such a nice texture.
Yeah, and let me zoom in so you guys can see. So I'll just draw a little bit of line here. So like there's brushes that look like this. It has a bit of grainy texture, so it kind of replicates what pencil would look like. So I don't have to do it on paper. You can do it digitally. Yeah. Nowadays you can make any kind of brush in the computer. So yeah, sometimes it looks traditional, but it's not.
Yeah, that makes it really it has a fun look to it for sure. And you also have a way of adding sort of a texture as well to get that vibe.
Someone is also asking, what I'm drawing, and why is the
falcon on fire? Is that
okay, it's supposed to be like a bronze statue. I haven't colored it yet. So yeah, so he's holding like this metal statue, and he's an iron dragon, so I guess he fired it up.
Yeah, it's still smoking from being made.
Still smoking. I mean, this is not really how you cast a bronze statue, but originally in the pose, I wanted him to be actually like attaching parts, because when you do a bronze cast, it comes in parts, and then you have to use additional metal to fuse it together. But I couldn't get the pose to work, so as a compromise, I just put the statue on fire. Like, he's just done attaching all the parts, and then it's just temporarily on fire. And also when they add patina onto the bronze statue, you kind of spray the patina powder on, and then you just torch it with a blowtorch. and the fire is green actually. So I'll give it a little bit of greenish tint later on, and
Nice.
yeah, and then that's how you get the patina onto the statue. I watched a YouTube video yesterday. That's what I know.
I was gonna say, Sandara knows a lot about making bronze statues. This reminds me a little bit of the art book in that in the art book you detail how the crystal dragons, you have glass blowing, and then you talk
Yeah,
about how you looked into that or your friend did it, and so then
yeah,
it's interesting if you think about Flamecraft. All of the dragons in Flamecraft, surprise, are using flame in some way.
yeah.
So the bread dragons are always baking something with fire. The chef red dragons are always cooking, grilling. The iron dragons are always like, what is a way that you can have fire and metal? What are they making? They're usually showing repairing or welding or working at the smithy and so forth. So
Oh,
uh,
there's a lot of questions.
smelt
Um,
exactly.
Harwell asked, composition. Uh, well, I don't quite remember like how I learned composition. There are some basic ones like rule of thirds and all that. Um, there's this guy who's really good at teaching composition. I think his name is. Let me just check. Uh,
We
what's
can
his name?
post the name later too if we need to.
Yeah, his name is Ian Roberts. He's on YouTube. He's this traditional artist, but he explains composition really well. So you can just go check him out. Yeah. Yeah, but composition rules, they're not like a lot of them, but it's good to follow. Not really follow them, but keep them in mind when you draw. Yeah.
You're probably very used to talking about this because for many, many years you've been teaching art.
Yeah. I've been talking about it, but whether or not the students have been listening, I don't know. But yeah, composition is one of those things that in art class they will definitely cover it, because it's a pretty fundamental part of art foundation. So
Mhm.
it's important. Yeah.
It can definitely make the difference. Now, sometimes in a game, composition matters because of the layout of the card and so forth. But just in a
Mhm.
general sense, it matters to create more dynamic poses. Like I'm particularly, I like how you've wrapped the tail around his foot so that he's more compact in terms of a pose. But
Yeah,
still getting the
yeah.
dragon in there.
Yeah, for games, composition is a little bit more different because in this case there is a card UI. So I'm trying to keep this guy like because I know the card would actually have text on the right side of it, so I kept his
Right.
tail down so that it doesn't cut into the space where the text is supposed to be. I think sometimes it still needs to be adjusted. Like I saw, I think either Peter or Lauren put the
Mhm.
text in, and there's a lot of text for this guy. So end of the day, his tail might still need to be moved. So for board games, usually the consideration as to where the placement of things are is due to the card UI. So the art has to cater for that. I can't extend him out too much. Like for example, I can't stretch this arm out too much. Like he can't do like holding something else here like a hammer or something because then this would take up too much space. It's too wide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please do that. That's hilarious. Just that squiggly little
like if you guys have seen Chowder, the
Yeah.
one
Oh
that
yeah, Chowder's.
yeah, so he's very horizontal, but the card that he's on is actually a very vertical kind of alignment. So I had to adjust him a little bit to move the his tail and the bowl in so that he would fit on the card. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
You should add a little horizontal scar across his chin because the actor who plays Han Solo has a little scar.
oh, he
Like,
does? I didn't
yeah, I
know.
don't know if it was while he played. I mean, he's played it since after. I think it was actually from like I don't
Like
know
a
what did it, but it's like a thing that he had, like a little, yeah, it's a little like line. I'll send you a
ah,
picture after this, but like it's a thing.
Okay, I'll just put it in first so I remember.
Um,
God.
the thing that we try to do, especially for Flamecraft cards, is know the layout first, obviously, so that Sandara doesn't have to draw it again. And so for Flamecraft shops, what was really interesting is we had to know exactly where the 3 slots were going to be, where the title was going to be. Once you had that, then I know it's sometimes interesting what you decided to put in those spots where you knew it was going to be blocked, or how to frame it in such a way.
Yeah, usually the unimportant stuff. So it's okay if it gets cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, the art book and a couple other places kind of show sometimes the Easter eggs that are underneath that UI. Like I think the sparrow glyphs in the pizza coven, something that gets
Oh,
those.
oh, did those
Maybe
things
they're
get cut
seen.
off?
Maybe they're seen in the slots anyway. What else do we want to talk about?
There's a bunch of questions.
Actually, you
There's
guys
so
should be suggesting like what the coaster art should be.
Sure. Well, let's talk about what we're going to draw after Han here, which is that we are doing a coaster for Flamecraft Duals, a commemorative coaster that we're going to include in the Horde, the top tier, and then let everybody else who wants to add it on. You could get it in the Pledge Manager. It's sort of our annual. I mean, when it's our not annual, but our campaign tradition to do a coaster. The last 2 coasters, well, the last 2 Flamecraft coasters, depict a picnic in the park, because in that game there are 6 artisan dragon types, and Sandara had the first coaster. There's a funny story about the coaster, which is that we knew we were going to do it, and then I said, I think this Kickstarter might go really, big. I think a lot of people might be interested. Is there any way we could do a second coaster? And I remember that you only had the first picnic figured out, which had plant, bread, and potion. We're having a picnic together, and it was a very nice, orderly picnic where they were sharing with each other's powers, and they could basically, have a meal together. And then when you said you would do a second one if the Kickstarter got big enough, and on day 1 I was like, I think we're going to get to that second coaster. Then you thought of a way to do the other 3 dragons in another type of picnic, where I think the meat dragon was splashing things around and the crystal dragon's all frustrated about it. So here we have Duals, which the lore of Duals is that the dragons are on their lunch break. They like the park. They play at the fountain. There's hybrid dragons now that found their way to town. So the question is, what are we going to put on this coaster? I'm sure we can. Now, there have been some suggestions in the Discord. We can read some of those off, depending on, but it's ultimately Sandara's choice of where to go here.
I'll read some of them out. There was an idea of a top-down view of the fountain where all the dual high dragons are either swimming or spending time. They should be having a little picnic next to an elder dragon statue, homage to Duals and the expansion. Sitting around a campfire, having fun. Coaster with all the colors of the artisan dragons around the border in the same style as a high dragon token from Duals. There was also showing the high dragon's specialties, like Venus caring for carnivorous plants, Pearl decorating a cake, Dutch stirring a boiling pot of tasty-looking stew. The dragons or high dragons having a picnic next to the fountain while 2 of them playing the board game and others watch. There was a bunch of ideas. It was very cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Interesting.
I think it should be just all frogs.
All frogs?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to go there.
I think we should just go complete curveball and a dragon just covered in frogs. That's what I think. Like pigeons in a park, but instead frogs.
They would have to be dual frogs, though, right?
Dual
otherwise
frogs,
it wouldn't make any sense for the game.
Flying frogs.
We need to. We'll have to entertain some. Maybe if Sandara's up for it, we could sketch a couple doodles.
Okay. Let me just block in this falcon first, and then I will sketch some ideas. I mean, some of the ideas are pretty good, I think. But we'll see.
Now you did, because you've worked with us on Critter Kitchen, you now have actually made 5 coasters for the cause, because there were 2 on Flamecraft, and then the Critter Kitchen ones, you decided to put all the 3 chefs.
Yeah, 3
We couldn't
chefs.
really have a coaster without one of the chefs, and there were 3 very important chefs, so everybody got a coaster with each one.
Yeah.
This one, I'm really kind of curious whether or not you're going to go with duals and high dragons in the shop.
Probably will. Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, it has to be the dual, the high dragons, right? Because that's
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's the draw of the game.
It probably then has to focus on the high dragons that are actually in duels, as opposed to one of the things we're doing on this campaign is Mandy came up with 15 different high dragons, and only 6 are in duels because they are the key tokens that you're playing with in the game. So those 6 are probably the stars of the coaster show, depending on which ones make the best illustration there.
Okay, you know what?
In that 6 is not my favorite.
I'm so sorry about that.
And Sandara loves that one too.
No. I mean, there aren't hard and fast rules. If there happens to be a rosemary coaster, it's what it is.
No,
But
I'm curious, Sandara, do you have a new favorite dragon because of the duels, or do you still have the same favorite dragon?
What, out of all the dragons?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like right now, my favorite's Rosemary. Yeah.
Because it's Starburst, right?
Yeah.
So from the original game, there were some favorites. Yeah. I'm just getting some more questions.
Rosemary is baby.
Yeah, she
was asking what equipment, and this is on Photoshop that we're doing this.
Are you using a pen or a mouse?
I'm using. Can you guys see what I'm using?
No, probably
Wacom
not. Oh,
tablet.
Wacom, nice.
Yeah, I'm using a Wacom tablet. Yeah, but nowadays there are a lot of different type of tablets in the market. I mean, Wacom's still good, I suppose, but any other brand will do actually.
Did you ever use a Cintiq?
Oh, I tried, but it's not for me. It's too big. Yeah, Cintiq.
Yeah, the Cintiq is where you draw directly on it. And I used to work at Disney, where they gave the Cintiqs to all of the different artists and so forth. And I was always wanting to work on one of those. It looked really interesting.
Yeah, it's just like working on a giant table kind of thing. It's huge. Yeah, I think maybe okay for you, but for me, because it's really big and it's like, oh, I don't like stretching my arm across the thing.
It's a big surface.
Yeah.
It does take a bit of learning when I use Wacoms to understand that the distance your pen travels on the Wacom is very different to the distance on screen. And I would just go all to the edge of the Wacom and go, well, how do I do this? I'm very
That's why
the
Cintiq is so entrancing, because it's your direct point you're drawing. That to me, that would feel like the most like paper.
Well, I use an iPad with Procreate with an Apple Pen, and I've always enjoyed drawing straight onto the screen for that, and using like a 6B pencil, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
Look at that! Oh my goodness!
All right, so for now, I'm just gonna leave it as it is.
Very nice, though. We'll have to share the final Han on the page, and then also tell everybody that Solo is getting. So the deal is, because it's duels, Han is getting 2 powers. And when you play Solo, you can choose which one of those powers as your one-time companion power. So if you want to play Solo Flamecraft, you can bring Han Solo with you.
Okay, let me save this.
And then we're going to work on the coaster.
Coaster time. Okay, let's see. All right. Coaster
is an interesting one, because unlike a card, you don't have that restriction of any other text on there. There's nothing to get in your way.
Yeah.
It just has to work in a round composition. That's the new challenge.
Okay, wait. Let me make sure that this image is large enough, because max size, is this large enough? Yeah, I think I should. Let me make my canvas a little bit larger, because this usually I know coaster's small, but usually we work a little bit bigger, because.
I'm so excited to be able to get a companion for Solo. The other thing is, I will say that there was a suggestion out there that I also had, which was we could make it look like a duals chip. But I think if we ever do that, I'd want a set of 6 coasters
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we would have to do 6,
yeah, I don't
right?
think it would work for one. So it's a trickier thing to come up with
Well,
one.
3 and then double-sided.
Oh, there you go.
Mm.
Okay, 3
No, it's
coasters.
got to have the logo on the other side.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. What were the suggestions? I remember something about the fountain.
Are you you're showing Nunya's beeswax as a
And your
suggestion?
beeswax. It's my beautiful
One of the
signed print.
suggestions was what they're doing their specialties, like it's the Venus taking care of a plant and Pearl making
Oh,
cake, and each one of the high dragons, or potentially some of the high dragons, doing their thing.
yeah, that would have to be a 6 pack.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that you would have like 1 per coaster, right?
Or
that's
they were
because
playing duels.
to truly get like Venus taking care of a plant and get Matcha serving something. There's just too many things going on in one scene, right?
Yeah, it's too many things. The coaster is small, so it has to be like
So it has to be one, like when their
one
original
scene.
was a picnic. It's
Yeah,
one scene. They're doing something, right?
yeah.
So it could be that they're playing duels. Could be that they're playing with the fountain or at the park.
Oh, playing duels. Dragons
I
playing.
mean, you did do a shop like that though, so there is already a shop that we put in the expansion where
Yeah,
all
but I
the
mean,
dragons
like
are
this is for duels, right? So
playing.
like the people who get duels, they won't get to see the shop, I
That's
guess,
true.
if they didn't.
True.
Yeah. Let me sketch that out.
Oh, that's cute. There's a suggestion that just got posted: the high dragons' hands and their choice of cups and mugs.
What? The choice of cups and mugs. Oh,
Like
so just just mugs.
if they were all, yeah, what would they drink out of? Ellie says swimming in the fountain top down. That reminds me of the coin that we made. So there's a coin in Duels where Manny and Sandara talked about that. It's the fountain, and so when you look down, you see the dragon swimming in the water. So you're gonna get that on the coin for sure.
Oh yeah, I saw that suggestion, but it's a good one because
Top down.
the coin, yeah, the top down, because the coin it's so small. I mean, the
Sure.
details actually good, but it's like the coaster would be like a kind of like expansion of that idea.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe we
that's
could doodle a top down if you want. Now
yeah.
you also did top down for the box. The Duels box actually has lots of different sides, and there's a top down of every dragon
Oh, yeah,
on the
yeah,
box
yeah.
too, which is really fun.
So what I'm doing now is like a really super rough sketch just to kind of lock down compositionally where everything would be.
Mm,
So if they were playing at the fountain, so this would be the game board, and maybe somebody would be here, and
sure.
somebody would be here. There's a lot of space.
Right. The other dragons would have to be crowding around, or there'd have to be something else, maybe.
Yeah, so there's actually space. I think I'll move everything up because
Oh, there you
even
go.
if the horns get cut off, we still can tell it's it's the
It's
fountain.
the dragon, yeah.
Yeah, it's the dragon. And yeah, since Eric modeled this thing, I can ask him for a 3D render just to make sure I get the perspective right. But for now, I'll just do it this way.
Right now it looks like a duck.
Alright, so this is just trying to figure out
This
like
is
if the placement of things. So
sure.
somebody can sit here. There's enough space. Somebody can sit over here playing. Okay, they just look like lumps right now, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be a dragon in the end.
I love dragon lumps. They're adorable.
There's
I
actually
love how
space
you can
down here
see.
as well. Although, for a coaster, I try to keep everything near the center, so
Yeah.
let's move this a little bit higher. Maybe this thing can be a little bit smaller. So it's all super rough right now because I don't want to waste time like detailing when I still need
Sure.
to actually make adjustments to the position of stuff. So there's no point
So we got some fun suggestions. First of all, that those are the cutest lumps with tails, and then that Megan says a frog is jumping on the board, knocking some pieces off. How much did you pay Megan off, Rosie? And
look,
then
they just love frogs as much as I do. What can I say? Like,
I like that there's this shocked dragon face now. People are
There's a
voting
frog.
for which dragons are playing the game. There was a vote for Matcha playing the game. There was a vote for Venus playing the game. There was a vote for now not inside duels, but Shimmerleaf and Rosemary playing the game.
yeah, I feel like Rosemary would be a good size.
Rosemary.
Are we really gonna put a frog in here?
No, we're not really gonna put a frog in it.
I was messing up the frog.
That's a very funny picture that there's a frog now.
Oh my god. Oh, it's too funny.
Sorry,
Who should? Okay.
Everyone is just shocked that it's happening. Like, what?
Okay, but I have to let's discuss this. Should it be only the dragons that are in duels itself? Or should it be any high dragon? That's one of the things we're gonna have to figure out here.
Somebody could be here. Somebody.
This is a coaster for the Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, it's for the Kickstarter campaign, right? So does that mean any high dragon is up for it now?
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's not dragons and dragons. You don't have to get 15 of them in there. Okay, so it looks like people are chiming in that any high dragon counts because it's the campaign for duels and the expansion. So, wow, there's a lot of people watching this game. This is like a heated match here.
Like, could we squeeze enough dragons? If this guy was small, like Rosemary, like one of the smaller bread, then there would be enough.
Then there could be room for an iron dragon back there. I mean, I suppose you got to think about all the different types.
Yeah, it'd be good to have representation of most of the types that we have. So this guy could be larger.
And now we have to know. Now we have to like, are all of them duels or are some of them?
I know that one with the hand up is going. I wouldn't do that. No, that's a crystal dragon going. No.
This guy?
Mistake.
Oh, I like the cute the dragon in the front. Look at that, adorable.
He's so cute.
Maybe
that's a plant dragon in the reeds or something.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is that. What's her name? Pipette.
Pipette.
You know what's funny is the Discord was talking about a tournament today. This does feel like a tournament. This is a duels tournament, right?
This is the final matchup.
The final matchup, yeah. So this guy is a little low, I think. So we'll try to move him up a little bit. It'll cut off this guy, but at least the board is still pretty much visible. So it's okay that we move him up.
Love
so
the
like all this.
dragon.
So all these things is actually composition, part of composition. You know, like trying to see whether they all fit within near the center of the image, right? And stuff like this down here is what we call framing, like this vegetation and this guy over here, this one in the foreground. All right, they kind of frame the shot, so they will like kind of bracket it. So here there will be some plants as well, and this one there's no dragon here, so it has to be balanced out with some, I guess, some nicer plants that has flowers.
A little critter, yeah.
Frog.
Well, if it's rosemary, it could be a little bee, because rosemary does seem to have like a.
Oh yeah, the rosemary has 2 bees.
Around.
Oh yeah, 2 bees. So it could be bees or beetle or something just to balance it out.
Ladybug, yeah.
Yeah, so this way, and then here we'll have the pattern on the fountain. Is the diamond's a little high now. Yeah, so this is just background stuff. So the lines here will be very faint, and there'll be lily pads and this dragon.
So if someone was mentioning this if we were doing a second doodle, we could also talk about the elder statue as another way to go. Depending on, we'll have to get some ideas in case, there's future, we can work which one of these out. But this is cute.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I
Go
was
on.
saying like just in case we wanted to sketch a couple things out. But this one looks adorable. Look, there's like
This is so cute.
6 dragons in there.
Yeah, is it too much though? An actual coaster will be around this size.
It's a. I wish I had one handy. Dude.
It's not too bad. They will still all be quite visible. It's a bit cramped though. Actually, it's a bit cramped. I just move everybody a little bit more to the side. Yeah, I just want to make sure that the empty space over here balance out with the empty space over here. So, uh, yeah, the board will have to move a little bit.
Just reading some of the things. Someone should be eating a treat while watching.
Yeah, who?
People are asking for one of the adventurers to be in there because those are coming. MP says it should be one of the ones that were saw in the first Kickstarter puzzle. Now, in the first Kickstarter puzzle, Rich named all of the dragons that are on the non-dual chips that got chosen for the game, like Cookie and Frostfire and Coal and Twig, Lavender, and what's the last one that I'm trying to think of? Potato. Potato's the last one. It could be
those
in there.
Yeah, we could be.
But it could also be high dragons, and we have a lot of those to consider. We just have so many dragons now, right? There are lots.
I don't know who to put. One of the larger ones. There is space. This guy could be the larger one. So this could be like an iron size or crystal size guy.
Yeah. The ones that are. What are the iron ones that are in the game? You've got Tank, who's in duels.
And rather fitting for a fountain.
Tank could be around there.
Maybe Tank's just
as a prop, though. It might make no sense to be carrying around pipes while you're like, playing.
It's okay. He can be without.
There's also other Iron Dragons obviously you've got Razor Claw as part Iron Dragon.
Yeah, but Razor Claw's already on the cover, so like somebody else should have a turn.
So Razor Claw has already had a turn.
Yeah, he's already got it.
Dutch is an Iron Dragon.
Dutch is too big though.
Waffle is an Iron Dragon, but is a totally different size.
Yeah, Waffle is too small. I think probably like someone like Tank.
Yeah.
So let me put in a more squarish look. So Tank always looks a little worried. So I'll give him like a more worried.
Tank's got money you guys in this game. Tank's bet is like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like,
I wouldn't do that. That's not a good move.
It's interesting to me that you already have personalities. Like Tank is always a little bit worried. That's amusing to me, as if it's like so. Tank has got just stressed about the plumbing of the town.
Yeah, I mean, like he's got a tough job. Like it's not like frivolous like the fancy dragons and all that. He's once the plumbing doesn't work, it's like, oh no.
That's right, Miho. It is an old town after all, so gotta look after it.
So his tail might go off the coaster, but it's okay because tail's not very important part of the dragon. As long as we see a little bit of it, we'll understand that he has a tail, so it's okay. So it could be Tank here.
Christopher's like, Tank posed like the thinker.
Have you ever drawn the dragons in like a famous painting style? Like, taking like, the one with the dogs all playing poker and
No, never. But yeah, I should. I always thought about like, oh, what if I painted them in oil paints or something? Because
dragon with a pearl earring.
Yeah, we have Pearl. That's
Pearl.
why she's got a pearl earring. Not earring, but off the horn. Yeah.
That would be such a fun series. Yeah. Flamecraft: The Last Supper. Oh, that would be a lot of food going down there.
All right, so we got Tank. So who will be the other guys though?
All right. Well, someone Impy was naming some of the ones from duels, but Calzone is also on the cover, so we're he's
out. He's out.
If you want to get a small bread dragon in there, the other bread dragons are obviously rosemary. We got waffle. There's also donut.
Oh yeah, donut.
Donut is usually got a pot of coffee.
Maybe okay. If only one of them can be either here or here because you can't have two yellow colored ones.
Sure.
So yeah, so if this is rosemary, then we can't have waffle or donut over on the other
Okay.
side. It has to be somebody
We
else.
could. So the
Eat
other thing
dragons,
is,
eat food.
I'm just gonna draw rosemary here because I like her.
I mean, why not? Rosemary's
Not
in.
a soggy waffle. Definitely not a
Is
soggy
Rosemary good at this game? We'll find out.
Yeah. So this
I
will be rose.
think that the bees help her.
Oh yeah, maybe they're whispering right. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that. So this
My
will be
question
rose.
is it the same two bees all the time or just general bees?
I don't know. I mean, if they are her pets, then yeah, it's the
Oh
same
my
two
goodness, they're
bees.
pet bees, which also need naming.
What's really cute about that is like the plant dragon part of it is that plant dragons often deal with are friends with bugs. That's what your original game there was. And I'm blanking on the name with the slug, but we turned it into a mini.
Snail.
The snail, with the snail.
Snail.
And then there was another one that was holding. I think it was Herb was holding a little slug. Yeah, look at that.
Or is it a caterpillar?
Was it a caterpillar?
Yeah, it's a caterpillar. Well, one of them, yeah, I think it's
also-
Herb has a caterpillar. Yeah.
There was also Daffodil that had butterflies. So basically, all the plant dragons are known to have.
And the ladybug on the latest. Or am I going mad?
Yeah, that's on the adventure. Oh wait, we haven't even reviewed that guy yet. So
I was like, Rosie, shut up. There's no ladybug. I'm just seeing things.
yeah, I'm just gonna make Tank a little larger and Rosemary a little smaller because
The bees should be called Honey and Nectar.
Oh.
So yeah, already there's, if we just take what's on the board right now, we have a bread, plant, potion, iron. So what's missing is meat crystal, which would happen to be bone saw.
Yeah, this could be bone saw. Because yeah, there's
I
space.
didn't know that bone saw was, is bone saw playing or is bone saw watching?
Yeah, she could be playing like angry bone saw. Okay.
Uh-oh. I don't know about Bonesaw's challenging.
And it does fit for May the 4th because Bonesaw's colouring is inspired by Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although somebody did say Ratalos from Monster Hunter and was like, oh yeah, that's right. she looks like Ratalos too.
Bonesaw
Which is also
right.
fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonesaw's
the emo child play. The emo dragon child play.
I remember that when Manny said, "Oh, we're gonna have one named Bonesaw," I was like, "What?" But there's Death Fang in the first game, and the Crystal Dragons like to have very imposing dragon names for sure.
So there's a lot of vertical space here, so definitely enough space for Bonesaw.
Nice.
Every kind of Duels player is being represented here.
Right. Faith was like,
Bonesaw is definitely me when I played you, Peter.
Bonesaw versus Rosemary. I'd watch that match. That's fun. This is, as Wilton points out, Team Horde, which is versus Team Cozy. These are the captains of two teams that we're playing. And right now on the Kickstarter, you can join the team because we're going to have a special prize for whichever team is, the loudest, I suppose.
I think there's like 700 votes now.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I recently, just to counterbalance all the people at Cardboard Alchemy, I recently joined Team Sweet, which is represented by Pearl, because that team is all about what I've decided that team is sort of going for all the goods to do enchantments or shop powers. So basically that's what that focus is. It's all the sweet card powers is what it is. Not necessarily only sugar.
I went Team Cozy because I always pick up more dragons than I should.
Yeah, there is a tendency. That's actually one of the reasons why we're adding more dragons to the game is that a lot of people play Team Cozy just in the way they play. So you play and you just grab dragons and the game is over and you're like, wait, what
did I do?
So You can actually add more dragons now to the game because we actually have in the expansion. There's fresh scale dragons that came with past promos, and then now there's going to be adventurers, which you could add to the deck, or you can add in high dragons. So you can get a bigger dragon deck now than you used to be able to get.
I love that.
Okay, so we have Bonesaw here. So who's going to be in the foreground? Some plant dragon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Megan's voting for Pearl to make the coaster, but Pearl's not a plant dragon yet, so
Yeah, so somebody who looks a bit like half plant, so it's either Shimmerleaf or Venus. Yeah.
now you have on the side of Bonesaw is already some meat. So that would maybe be against Venus. But
Oh, is
Oh yeah,
Matcha?
he can't.
Matcha?
Yeah,
Matcha is also
matcha. Yeah, could be matcha or Shimmerleaf. Yeah, you're right. Can't be
Matcha's
Venus.
got one of those little thermoses with like tea in it. You know, like one of those like big thermoses, like pouring tea out.
that makes sense
All right.
because Bonesaw is also crystal, so Shimmerleaf would be
Oh yeah.
crystal.
Okay,
on
it's gonna be matcha then. Matcha is one of those.
Although I
little
do love that there was a lot of
oval-
votes for Shimmerleaf just then. Oh my gosh, the Shimmerleaf had some votes for sure.
Yeah,
I suppose
but,
we could have just done all the captains. Hank would have to go then, but
it's
because
matcha.
Matcha, Bonesaw, and Rosemary are captains, and so the other captains are Shimmerleaf and Pearl.
All right, so very
We
roughly.
didn't balance out the captains super well, did we? There was like
No, the captains are a little
3
bit.
plant and 1 potion like in the mix.
Okay.
Plant they're good at this game. You know what I
Plants
mean?
are good, yeah.
They know how to play.
All right. I've
Pearl
done-
taking a soak in the fountain is another idea.
That cupcake will be soggy.
Someone's in the back. There was someone watching the game, but I don't know who they would be now.
Okay,
I love the tiny little face, just like watching, like with like a lily pad on its head, just like, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm clearing out some of the sketch lines because it's getting a bit messy. So
Yeah.
now that we've blocked in these guys, we don't need the sketch lines anymore. Okay, so
I do like the sort of balance, even though I would love more dragons, I do like the balance of about 4 dragons, like it's a team match or something.
there is space because this
Yeah, you've got that
dragon, this fountain in the background.
Chris, thank you, Ellie, for doing the current count. 2 potion are represented, 2 plant are represented, 1 crystal, 1 iron, 1 bread, 1 meat. No fancy, 0 fancy.
It's okay. They don't need to be fancies are like, something else. Okay, so if it's until here, there could be some like lily pads here.
Impy's like, let's make the stream go 3 hours so we can see the coaster get finished.
Oh, this one will take a long time because this is still rough. So later on, I will have to, sketch out each one properly, and then after that, line them again properly, and then finally color. So yeah, this one will take like it's one of those 2 days, 3 days kind of job now for this particular coaster.
So Axel is saying, how many coasters will Duals have? And then answers 10 question mark.
10.
So the answer is 1. Unless we think of something that has to be another coaster. Well, so you could keep your ideas coming. But right now, this is the 1 coaster.
All right. So we have space for either 1 more dragon or 2 if one of them sits in the water. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe who can we have over here? These 2 guys.
We should get our total list of who's left.
Oh, I'm looking at the list actually.
Oh, good.
You guys don't see it, but
Faith is like, it's Duals. It has to be 2. That logic is probably going to win over Faith, but we'll see. Right now, we're planning on 1 coaster because that's what we talked with Sandara about.
Yeah, I actually have. I'm actually looking at the list of all of them.
Oh, there you go. There's the.
Yeah, so we could see, but.
Well, based on the numbers, 2 potion, 2 plant, 1 crystal, 1 iron, 1 bread, 1 meat. Pearl would work.
Pearl.
Because it's bread and crystal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pearl peeking out the water.
Pearl picking out the water. Yeah, so Pearl could be just here.
Axel has another vote for another coaster, which is Cardboard Alchemy Team Coaster. That's fun.
That would be beautiful.
Cardboard Alchemy Team. Oh, all the
There's too
members.
big of a
So
team.
many now.
Yeah, no,
Would be-
it's a tough one.
that would be tough.
It's Pearl just sticking out like the Loch Ness
Yeah.
monster. Yeah, you don't even see the rest of the body, just the long neck.
It's hard to bake cupcakes while you're in the water too. It's tough.
I love that.
It's just Pearl, just with her long neck down there. She's going. Okay, I gotta draw her face.
Faith is saying calzone is also red, but calzone would be so cute there. Calzone's busy making a couple calzones to bring over to the park.
Yeah, Calzone's on the cover, so nope.
We got the star of the show on the cover.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is the statue at the back. So this could be, what does the top of Pearl's head look like? Did I ever draw it? Just give me a minute. Pearl, where are you?
Impy is throwing it. Sandara's dragon should make it onto a coaster somewhere. Now there's a great idea.
Oh, nah, but I'm a fancy dragon, so
Yeah. Well, there should be someday. We'll have to figure that out.
all right. So
At least, like, Dutch is the right choice for the remaining types, but he's huge.
he's huge. He'll take up like this entire space, and that's
He's just
too
behind the fountain.
he's too big.
He's too big.
He's just
It'll just be
standing
Dutch
behind the
pretending that the fountain is currently on repair, and it's just Dutch standing there as the fountain.
Okay,
He could
so
just
this
peek
is-
around the fountain. Like, what you doing?
All right. So right now we have this as the slightly less rough sketch. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah. Size-wise, is it correct?
It's a lot of fun having suggestions from everybody. So thanks for everybody who's thrown in some ideas. Sandara, you probably normally just have your own head trying to figure these things out.
Yeah. Normally it's just me like thinking through like, okay, what's going on? Oh,
But it's really fun. I know that also when we work on shops, a lot of times Manny has a really good idea in his head about like what it would be, which is great.
Okay, so size-wise, it's probably like this, and just move everybody over a little bit more.
I like how size is a big part of this whole thing, because someone did ask in our Discord whether or not the plush were different sizes, and they are based on, the types, the dragon type, the iron one.
Yeah.
They're not true to actual size difference, because that would make the Iron Dragon plush quite a bit different than the Red
Someone
Dragon.
asked how squishy they are, so I just want to show the squishiness.
Very nice.
They asked it they're pretty squishy. The heads are a little bit more firm because they've got to stay in a certain shape, but they're pretty squishy.
Okay, I'm just moving the guys around a little bit to kind of make the composition better, which is why I'm like cutting out the dragons and just shifting them here and there, just to make sure they look all right.
Wilted is saying, sorry, my idea was too much to use. It was a great idea, though. Let me just say, like the dragons doing their own specialty. But that would be like an entire scene. But it was a great idea.
Yeah, that one is like it. All of them are not going to fit on one coaster, or either that we're going to have to do like 6 coasters. But that's a bit.
Although you did get 5 on there, I have to say. They're not like, but the difference is that they're
but they're all doing the same thing. You see, they're all
doing
doing the same thing. Yeah, they're just doing one thing. Yeah, they're not doing like all different things. So it's not okay. So I mean, this is like.
Melly says we should have a
idea
reference.
number 1.
We should have Dutch's pot somewhere.
What? Whose pot?
She's trying to get the dragon types to even out. So she's like, maybe Dutch's pot is somewhere.
just mysteriously in the foreground here, like
Yeah.
just a pot.
Just a pot. Why
Just a
not?
pot.
It's so random.
It's pretty random.
Random pot.
Um,
Okay, so it's nice. We got one.
oh, you're
idea.
gonna okay. That's number 1.
Okay, this is like super rough, but the next step would usually be again fleshing them out a little bit better. I think something like this, I might go straight to clean lines already, because we already know which dragon is gonna be where, and I have
Sure.
their rough sizes. So it's gonna be the same as how I did Hans just now, right? Where what we just done just now was actually this rough version. Although
Hmm.
for him, this rough is a lot cleaner than the other rough. But yeah, but the next step will be actually just to do these clean lines. But that's kind of boring, boring to watch, I think. Yeah, because
No worries.
I yeah.
We'll be surprised when it pops onto the Kickstarter. And everyone will.
Yeah, but we know who these dragons are, so that's good. And I think their sizes are okay. Bonesaw could be a little larger, actually. Actually, she needs to be a little longer because she's
Mm,
crystals. I'll just stretch out her torso a little bit more.
right. Because of
Yeah,
the
the
crystal
starting stage
structure.
is always a little messy because we're just trying to place the dragons and not really worried about their details yet. Just make sure that they're okay. This is the fountain at the back. Look, we don't really see much of the fountain anymore because it's so crowded. Yeah.
By the way,
Okay.
something else that's going to be really fun to talk about with everybody as we get. So this year we're going to PAX Unplugged, and
Mm-hmm.
PAX has this thing where they have a special. They have a pin program that you can join called the Penny Arcade, and so
Oh,
we'll have to think of what would be an epic Flamecraft pin to put in the Penny
oh.
Arcade. And usually the ones that I think are the coolest have some sort of glitter or there's fancy parts to the setting of the enamel.
Mm-hmm,
We'll
mm-hmm.
have to think of something pretty fancy or interesting maybe for that.
Oh, I got to think about. Yeah, it's got to be some fancy dragon then.
Yeah,
Think about who.
your dragon possibly maybe.
I have
Yeah.
this pin, which is Jumanji.
Oh my god,
Oh
that's
my
a
god,
cool
that's
one.
so
Imagine the
cool.
duels box.
Ah, Ultra
Duels
Mini
box.
Duo. Ah, and then tiny little magnetic tokens that you can take.
Ellie, by the way, who's suggesting some goods pins. Actually, we made a goods pin. We made a potion, and something that Rosie has suggested as well, like doing bread and getting some of the other ones in there. So we're thinking about them.
In my head, I
Hmm.
visualize all six in like a Pokemon badge style thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but
Oh well. Anyway, any other
anyway.
ideas for this?
Oh, you want to talk about second coaster idea while we still have you?
Well, I mean, like I could just doodle some more and see what
Sure.
works because we
Yeah.
got to sketch them out to be able to see if it's which one
Well,
which
there
one
was one
looks
that
nice.
was like a campfire. There was
Oh, the campfire. Yeah. We should because I think I did draw a campfire
for New
in it.
Year's, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for New Year's. Let me dig it
Yeah.
out. We could do something like that. Oh, where did
We
I
Maybe
could
put
do a
during the
it?
day.
campfire. There was also the near the elder statue. Let's see what else was there. We were just at the fountain, so the fountain's covered.
Oh, this is the New Year card.
It was so
Yeah,
cute.
that's right. Thank you for drawing that, by the
Now
way.
many of those secrets that we put into it are revealed.
Oh
Right. So
yeah.
at the time, this was had a couple Easter eggs in there. There was a package that that looks like the duels wrapper.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And
If
it says for two.
or two, so that was a hint that it was going to be a two-player game.
The
The
Iron
bottom,
Dragon is this back. Yeah.
the one that the Iron Dragon has a backpack. That's a hint towards what happened. The plush is there's a plant plush being gifted.
Yeah.
One that was a little obscure at the time was that the stone that the fire is on is like a
Oh
dual
yeah, it's the
stone
duels.
that's in the game.
Hmm.
We still haven't really talked. Well, we did sort of talk about how the dragons are going to go on an adventure. So the fact that there's a
Yeah,
the whole
Graham's
thing
bag is
scene.
here.
Yeah, they have the croissant bag, right?
Yeah, Graham's bag is here.
So and then
Yeah,
the
so we could do a campfire one for
He's so
the
cute.
coaster. And it could be the same campfire.
so we're So we've got some other suggestions, which is campfire would be cute, stumbling upon the elder statue, some high dragons watching the sunset, making a teaser of Flamebound.
On a coaster?
Well, I
Right,
like
so
the campsite's also sort of a teaser to Flamebound because in the sense is that the dragons will be going camping. They will be going to leave town and figuring out what's out there, and sometime they will be camping. The funny thing, and we mentioned this, this in various updates and whatnot, is that I was asking Sandara one time about the elder statue because we had sort of come up with the shop idea, and she said, "Well, that's only 10 minutes outside of town." And I was like, 10 minutes outside of town? Like, no one's noticed the elder statue? So
I just love the idea they just never even bothered to step outside. This is this like gated community. Like, we're happy here. We're not leaving.
It's like hobbits. They don't go outside. They like do their thing. They don't go out adventuring and stuff.
I've never been as far as this before, Mr. Frodo.
When your legs are as short as dragons' legs, right? It's a long walk.
It's like, has anyone seen, what is that thing over there? There's probably nothing. So I imagine the campsite though is it's somewhere outside of town, a little bit out of town.
That's so cute.
So there is we haven't revealed all the adventurers yet, right? We've done.
Wait, who are these guys gonna be? The adventurers or the high dragons?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, if you draw the adventurers, we'll have to show it later because we haven't revealed them all yet.
Yeah.
Because there is a particular adventurer that is playing music. We haven't gotten to that adventure yet.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, this could be another dragon that's playing, but
sure.
Right.
Keep them blobby.
Keep them blobby. Yeah. Who could this mysterious guy
be? There is a good point Mipa-chan is making that the adventures are for Flamebound. So that'll take away from the Flamebound coaster. So maybe we'll have to have just regular artisans.
Yeah, then this one will save it for Flamebound because it's more. It's more linked to. Yeah,
you have an early sneak peek of the Flamebound coaster.
Yeah.
We need another activity. We need another activity that's like the town activity. I mean, there is like the instruction manual. They're all going to the park and they've got balloons and.
Yeah, but that one's on the rulebook cover, right? The summary one where they're all like preparing for the picnic.
We've got enchanting thrown out as we haven't seen them doing the magic with the ups. I mean, definitely if you take the statue, the upscales are part of the enchanting process.
Yeah, but that's not the duals gameplay, right? Yeah, the statue belongs to the expansion.
You could draw the statue, I mean, this is the campaign for the expansion, right? Because obviously that's what we were just saying. High dragons that are in the town are in the expansion. So you could take the new park, the Ren Fair vibe of the park.
Ren Fair, oh my goodness. Ren Fair dragons.
Ren Fair dragons? What would they dress up as?
Because the park is kind of like, the new way to play the park is parks and crafts. And so it's like, I guess like a Ren Fair. I don't know.
It was just like a little craft fair. There's a little stall.
Oh, you could do the stalls that you did in Duals, which is like.
It could be a seller and it's you selling all your art.
What? So you mean like little carts and then the dragons are there and they're all like buying stuff.
So cute.
Oh, that's a cute one. Ellie Doodles is saying a sunset could be pretty with the silhouette of the town in front.
Oh,
gray sky with some of the dragons relaxing and watching the sunset.
Oh, that's nice. So
buy craft fair.
Go buy craft fair. Yeah. I drew so many of those cards. Okay, it's like.
Purple Hound had a good one, which is in a cafe playing a game. But I like the sunset. That's cute.
If they were walking in a line, it would look like the Fellowship.
Yeah. Sunset with the silhouette of the town in front and ombre sky. Just
You do
okay,
like
so we
drawing the town. You did a really, I don't know if anyone saw this. Um, you have a drawing that you drew of two dragons coming into town. I believe it was Rosemary and Tank, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
was, yeah.
And they were coming like down a path with the town in the back. That was a really pretty drawing.
oh.
Oh, this
And
could be the end of their day. So they walk from the rulebook to play duels on the front of the cover, and then this is them finished for the day with the box at the back. Like they've had a really lovely day, and now they're chilling. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, they're just sitting down here and chilling, and there's the sunset, and I guess silhouette of the town could be here with all the towers, so you could see. Yeah, this one is really simple, but could be really nice.
yeah, that could be really pretty.
Color-wise, yeah, and this is just the town.
And if the sunset is dual colors, it'll still work.
Dual colored sunset.
No, I want the Aurora Borealis, please.
So this will
Do
be
you
their
think
town.
this is a random question, but do you think when we get into, because of the way the lore shifts, do you think when we start drawing Flamebound that any high dragons will show up?
Oh, I don't know.
Because we didn't really, when we started working on it, we didn't have that, like the high dragons weren't a thing, and now they are, so it's interesting.
Yeah. Could be.
Ben is asking, do the dragons never fly?
They can't really like fly for a long distance. I mean, the size of their wings are really small, so at best they can glide, I think.
But you've seen a bug's life. I'm a beautiful butterfly.
I think they could probably fly like short distances.
They're like chickens, yeah.
Like chickens.
I did not
like
get off the ground. This is news to me.
I can't remember what I was doing, some kind of quiz or something, and I said how long there's like there's a distance that a chicken has flown that's the longest, and it's like 20 meters or something. And I just knew this fact, and I was like, why do I know that? That's so weird. It's gone now. It's gone.
They are magical, Axel. They are. But the whole point was originally that they weren't flying around the town. They
can't really fly that well.
They do better climbing.
This reminds me though that coming up on the campaign, like in the next week, we're gonna have a trivia stream with Stephen Conway, who runs the Spiel Foundation, and he's come up with so much interesting trivia. So he's gonna do some trivia about dragons, I believe, if anyone wants to play along.
I'm excited.
That's fun. Ellie's like, remember that the Iron Dragon came into town on a hot air balloon.
Oh yeah, she did. Yep. She did.
Just like the Wizard of Oz.
So that was our answer to how the dragons came in. They didn't fly. They had the Iron Dragon had to Wingnut had to get in that balloon. This is so fun to see the lore come together. That's part of the reason why it's fun each time this game comes back up, because you learn more about what the dragons are doing, what their personalities are. The fact that they're going to go on adventure will sort of expose brand new areas of the wilderness that we've never seen before. This is fun.
What does a sunset look like? I don't even. Sunset. What color is it? Yellow. Okay. It's nearer to yellow.
Thanks, Baz, for this. We need a Baz named dragon. I like that. I just straight out advocate for your name. I think that's a good plan.
Hey, I got Rosemary.
There you go.
I wasn't even in those discussions. It just happened, and I was like, well, great.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're talking about different parts of the lore. Oh, someone's saying the dragons fly to Andromeda's Edge. I suppose that is true.
That's true.
But they
dragons what?
They
fly in Andromeda's Edge.
The plushie prize helps them.
Oh yeah, but that's in a spaceship. It's not like they're using their wings.
They have been to space, though. That's pretty awesome. we didn't know that one was coming. It's just been a very fun journey where I think when we made the game, of course, we didn't know that we were going to make promos like that, and then all of a sudden there's a fortune teller, and they're at a park with ducks, and we did the whole thing. They're operating a telescope, looking out into space. Then they're in space.
I'm curious, does it rain in the town of Flamecraft?
No, apparently it never rains there. I don't think there's a single time that Sandara's shown weather conditions.
Yeah. I mean, now that you mention it, that's right. I've never drawn it raining. I mean, obviously it
as
does
someone living in
rain.
London, I'm like,
Now we
rain.
need a scene where it's like absolutely pouring rain, and there's a dragon like giving you like a warm cup of coffee and a cinnamon roll or something that's like
like they're in a warm cafe and there's a dragon playing in a puddle.
Yeah, why haven't we ever drawn like a rainy scene?
And I will tell you the number of suggestions that have come asking for a snow scene, by the way. Originally we didn't want to go there, just so everyone knows, because of course it's all about fire, and every one of the dragons is showing evidence of like you're making a creme brulee, you're firing up the grill. There isn't as much need for flame in the winter scenes, because I guess you could fire up a cup of hot cocoa, but we'll have to see if someday if that ever happens.
Melting the snow. Breathe fire on it.
Well, they have Christmas trees.
Do they?
Didn't we do that? We drew we had a dragons decorating a Christmas tree.
The little dragons playing in the snow would be so adorable, is what people are saying.
All right, so dragons.
We were thinking about that at one time, about whether or not there would be a winter scene, so we'll see someday.
Someday. Another expansion.
There you go. That's really interesting, the silhouette. That's pretty cool looking.
I mean, this is just like super rough, and the true colors of these dragons are not in yet because we don't know exactly who they are. But it will have like a purple shadow on them, like this. Yeah. So actually, you won't really see much of their true color. So if this was if this was Rosemary, then she will only have very little orange, and then the green, it will obviously be tinted with this purplish color. Yeah, so it will be dominantly, the colors will be something like this.
Sure.
Watching the sunset, maybe something like this. This is not too bad as an idea, actually. I quite like it.
It's dragon constellation in the sky.
It's quite unique. Let me just warm up the bottom.
Eating fondue in the winter. There's a lot of votes for winter. I will say there's a lot of votes.
I think it's because in terms of like cozy seasons, obviously spring's lovely.
One of the most.
There's always autumn and winter that's like jumper season, sweater weather, as you say.
Yeah.
So it's all about keeping wrapped up warm and sitting in little cafes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. Little stars.
Yeah. I guess I could move the sun down a little bit so that we can get a little bit more stars, but
is the plushie prize in the distance?
No, that's awesome.
There's a lot. I would have to say, like, there's a lot of coaster that doesn't have, like dragons, but it's very pretty. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what I had in my head for Duals, but it's a gorgeous coaster. So
it's really cool.
Oh no, I messed up the colors.
Because I don't think a lot of people know that your scenes if they follow you on Instagram, they know. Like, you draw environments, really gorgeous environments with giant dragons, water scenes.
Lots
of different things. It's a different challenge, I guess, to draw those environments than characters.
Well, the starting point is actually very similar. It always starts with, that rough sketch like you guys see me do. And then for those kind of artwork, it's just requires a little bit more time to render up because the lighting is realistic. So the texture of things are realistic, not like Flamecraft where, it's all just flat artwork. So that one, the coloring is much faster. Like with Han here, is pretty much almost done. I just need to give him a little bit of shadow and put on the texture, and that's it. But
Yeah.
for those kind, it's just like, well, let me just open up the one that I did. What did I call it? A new friend. Oh wait, not this one.
I remember I mean, your prints are so amazing, and the one that you had done like a giant, there's like a pirate ship one that was amazing. So many good ones.
Oh, I forgot what the I forgot what it was called. The one that I did.
And a lot of times when I go to shows, you partner with gamer mats. So when I see these giant mats that people must use for Magic the Gathering or other games like that, there's just gorgeous scenes on those mats.
Oh, those are really huge.
Yeah.
Was it called New Friends Are on the Way?
Yeah, it's here. My files are a mess. Yeah, this one. This one is a little bit more rendered. Let me just turn off the text. Oh, never mind. Let me just put this over here.
Oh, right. That's
So it's this one. So let me just zoom in. So you can see that, for example, the vegetation is painted up and the grass is painted up as well. So this kind of painting, it's actually pretty rough when you zoom in, but it's definitely more detailed than, because it has no lines to support it, not like let's see, rosemary here. Like the plant here is just flat color, but it's supported by the line art, but for the
right.
vegetation here it's not. So I have to color the lighting in, so there's the highlights and then there's the shadows. So this kind, it takes a little longer to do, but end of the day the process is pretty much the same. It's I always start with the sketch and then I block out the colors, and then after that, this one I just need to spend some time detailing, and you can see there's no line art on this. Yeah.
So, by the way, I'm just going to address this comment so someone can remind me later. When we get to Flamebound, we want to talk about a mat for sure.
A mat.
A mat.
Oh, okay.
For when we get to Flamebound,
Okay.
But as far as that thing you just showed, which was the dragons coming to town, something that we were talking about right now, there's a Dropbox where we have avatars that people can get. We'll have to put that as a wallpaper there so people could.
Oh yeah. People were asking me for like a wallpaper of that.
Yeah, so we'll put the wallpaper of that image there, and then we'll have one of these coasters become our Duals coaster. Is there anything else we want to do? I don't want to have you draw the whole coaster out. Well,
yeah, this one is pretty nice. I think I have a little picnic basket here. They have a picnic,
nice.
sitting here watching the sunset over the town, and the town can have. I guess the lights will be coming on now, so there will be some little bits of lights turning on for the town.
Cute.
Yeah. Obviously, the town will be more detailed than this, but it's just a rough sketch.
Yeah. That's so pretty. Thank you for taking the time to sketch and doodle, and for all of the times, I mean, the funny thing about when we started working on this and Manny had seen, a lot of people had seen your creme brulee dragon that just inspired a story, right? So it's very fun to see all of your characters come to life. It's just a fun part of the process. I could watch painting art all day.
Flying across the sky. Yeah, just kidding.
Nice.
No, that's a massive dragon.
That would be a lot of. We'd have to write that into the lore. Like, so what happened? Because in the art book, there's that thing that happened where we were going to have. I might have told it before on a stream. We were going to have 2 expansions that released with the game originally, and one of them was giant dragons came to town, like
just like
in a
blasting
bullying way, and then we decided against that. But it was this we were going to show a dragon at the gates, and like all of the dragons, like all the little artisans. But we decided that didn't fit in the world of Flamecraft. So
yeah, that doesn't fit. That doesn't happen.
And everything you know about dragons. Yeah, exactly. Well,
A little hot air balloon, or
Oh yeah, the little hot air
it
balloon.
could be a hot
Yeah.
air balloon back there.
What is the name of the one that came in on the hot air balloon? I forgot.
That's Wingnut.
Oh, wingnut. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's wingnut. That's
That's cute.
wingnut flying in.
someone just
Yeah,
said it just went very dark, and I'm like, you should go see Sandara's other Art of Dragons.
Yeah, the dragons that Sandara knows how to draw are the big kind.
yeah.
So we'll have to wrap this stream up, but thank you so much for doing this. For
Okay.
sharing part of the process here.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right. You're welcome.
And everybody can say that you saw it happen when the coaster comes out, that when we reveal the solo companion, when we get out the wallpapers. Thank you all for the suggestions. You can always join our Discord, where Sandara is in the Discord. She's also in our Facebook group, so you can throw out ideas there, and we'll keep making some of this lore happen.
Yeah. So I sketched two coasters. I don't know. Both are kind of nice.
Yeah, we'll show them to Manny, who can vote, and Brad. And then, if there's something else obviously hits you, we don't have to unlock the coaster today, but we're going to put it in there by the end of the campaign.
Mhm.
And thank you very much, everybody, for watching and for
Thanks for dropping by, everybody.
and for all the support of the campaign. This wouldn't be possible without all the support of everybody saying, yes, let's make cute, cozy art possible. Let's make games that feature that art part of the mainstay of gaming. So thank you for all that, everybody. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Until the next one. All right. Have a good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.